Hello and welcome back to Irish Red Devils. Manchester United come up with the 3 points after the game yesterday. Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 0, and this is your post-game review. I am joined here in the studio, as always, by my co-hosts, Killian, the football genius, and Gags, madman, Martial.
Come on, United!
Yes, Gags, you're on the beer. I'm going to open the beer because there was kind of feedback from the last episode that maybe it's more enjoyable listening if I've had a couple of beers. So happy Christmas, lads. Right, guys, we're recording this here. What time is it now? It's 7:30 on, I'm all confused. What day is it? Saturday?
Today is
Saturday. 7:30 Saturday. And the final games of the day have just concluded. Aston Villa won. So we are sitting here now as we stand in 6th position on 29 points.
Joint fifth
with Chelsea, who are also on 29 points. And want to get into, we don't have Josh, the Newcastle fan who joined us the other day. He reached out and he said congratulations on the win, boys, but the time difference with USA and stuff didn't work out today around Christmas time. That's understandable, but listen, that we can still, there's plenty to get us into, and definitely what was a game of two halves. So we're going to start us off here with, we've made a few notes of a couple of what we're going to talk about. First of all, we're going to start with a win, 3 points. But are we happy? Gags, you kick us off.
Yeah, well, I think answering that question, I'll have to go back to watching the game. And first half, I thought we were fantastic. And I think I did make a point at half time. I was like, we're playing really well, playing really, really well. We had the lead, but the one person that I picked out, especially in that first half, and I was saying he was playing fantastic, was Mason Mount. With no Bruno, so Mount was playing in that sort of central midfield position, and I just noticed he was disciplined and he was directing all around him. So then, bang, of course, Mount doesn't appear for the second half. I thought second half performance was, to be quite honest, I thought it was shocking. I thought we more or less just sat back. We barely attacked at all. Shesko hit the ball. That was it. And we were damn lucky not to drop points. So we'll probably get into it a wee bit, but by the end of the game, I was absolutely raging. So yes, I'm happy we won 3 points. At the end of the day, 3 points for us is all that matters. But the way we played that second half, I wouldn't criticize the player so much, and we'll get into it. There is somebody I am really unhappy with, but technically, at the end of the game, I wasn't that happy. No, I was fucking raging.
Yeah, how are you feeling today, though?
I feel a bit better because I'm looking at the table and I'm seeing we're joint fifth again after having a few bad weeks. So we're still in the mix. So yes, look, 3 points was a massive result, massive. I kind of thought, I think I did predict we would win. But I think, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy we won. Obviously, I'm happy.
Yeah, and I think, I definitely predicted after our conversation with Josh
I think we
that
all predicted
he kind of gave us a bit of encouragement.
Yeah,
I think, it's a good point because obviously we're recording this the night after. And I think I'm a bit like you. Watched that match. I enjoyed the first half. I thought we started well. Second game in a row, we started well. It was good. It was decent. Considering the team we had, I was really enjoying the 4-4, or seeing the 4 at the back. We looked comfortable. Mount going off, it was typical because I watched an interview that he did. It was out on YouTube yesterday, and he was talking about it's great to be back playing regularly. But apparently, listening to Dameron after the game, Mount said he felt something, whatever that was. Then they never really give the information. But then that he thought he could still play on, but they didn't take the risk. So hopefully he will. It's nothing too serious.
They're shit scared. They're shit scared. He's gonna pick up an injury,
and they have
for
to
another 6 months.
That does make sense.
With his history the last 2 years. So.
But then the second half, second half was incredibly hard to watch, and so I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I felt really weird at the end of the game.
It's not United.
I will.
Well, hear what Killian says. To me, it's not United.
Yeah. No, like I said, just to finish there, I just felt that I finished at the end of the game. I was like, don't know about that. I was confused. Went into the house and actually Karen said to me, "Did they win?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Oh, you happy?" And I was like, "Yeah." But that's what I kind of said. Yeah, 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 yeah. She was like, What? I was like, "Yeah, just." But today I'm happier. So, Killian, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you something for sure. In the full time whistle went, all I was thinking was, how on earth have United won that game 1-0? I mean, I'm buzzing with 3 points considering how that game did go, but at the same time, when you are looking at it, you'd be stupid to say anything, but United were extremely lucky there in that one. Again, first half actually pretty good. I mean, for the most part in the first half, playing good football. Newcastle sort of were on the back foot for the most majority of the first half anyway, apart from maybe a brief spell midway through it. But yeah, I thought overall some very good football being played there. Obviously, Dorgu with a fantastic finish in the first half too. Cunha was looking incredible. As you said, Mason Mount was a brilliant orchestrator in midfield too, I think. And I've seen plenty of people online actually, plenty of neutrals mainly saying Mason Mount had a terrible performance, and I just couldn't understand where they're coming from because he had a brilliant performance. He was brilliant in that sort of director's role in the midfield too. So yeah, overall I was very happy with the first performance. But then the second half, I think it's mainly in the Ruben Amorim. I mean, I know you're saying the performance was poor. In my opinion, actually, from a player's perspective, in the circumstances and situation, a lot of those players are put in, especially the less experienced ones. I thought that they did exceptionally well to still hold out for a 1-0 victory. And I don't get me wrong, Newcastle still were pretty poor. I mean, Newcastle, especially the forward line, Walter Mada was very poor. Anthony Gordon was horrendous as well, I thought. For me, Newcastle should have done much more and should have done by far much better going forward. But in my opinion, a lot of the youth and inexperienced players did very good. Jack Fletcher played 45 minutes, and I know you were saying he didn't do a lot in the match, but I thought he held his own there in that one. Aiden Heaven, he was at the focal point of a back line which was constantly getting chopped and changed. He saw the likes of Luke Shaw and Lissandro Martinez, experienced figures around him, get subbed off at crucial moments in the match, and he still held his own. And he still was solid at the back line. I thought I was very impressed by him, and that was proven obviously with his Man of the Match award. So yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, we're going to get on to Ruben Amorim. I thought he was at fault for us. Just really, stepping off Newcastle, parking the bus, being on the back foot, letting Newcastle dominate the first half as well, or the second half as well. But I thought from a player's perspective, there's not a lot of quality there in that starting 11 or the 11 of players who was on the pitch during the second half. But I thought in terms of quality, the players did very well, and I think the players should be very proud of that 3 points.
Okay, yeah, okay, fair enough. That's three fans. I think you could have on 100 United fans here, and you would get something
Yeah,
a wee bit different from all of them.
just to clarify, I wasn't getting at the players. I said I back the players, and I said there's one person that we're going to discuss that I think I have an issue with, and I think we all know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Young players did well.
yeah, and I think again, like I said, the fact that we've had 24 hours to kind of look at it, what is again, I'm just looking at the stats here. The most glaring, like as Keane says, the 3 points. That's the main thing, right? Well, look, we're never going to not celebrate a win, and especially this season, European football moving up the league is a hugely important. But we can't ignore the style of football as well,
Yeah.
and I think that having looked at 33% possession at Old Trafford,
Against a poor Newcastle team
against a
too.
poor Newcastle, a Newcastle team just looked toothless up front. It was the style of it, and I think that it was almost like what happened for me. The thing that was the most surprising was the substitutes and how it just looked like Ruben Amorim had just decided at halftime 1-0 is enough.
No, out of interest, can you get what was the possession stats for the first half? And more
yeah.
important, and then what's the possession stats for the second half?
So first half, United at 43%, and Newcastle at 57%.
Second half, now
Second half, Newcastle at 76%, United 24%.
24%. That is shocking. That is shocking.
That's harambol. That's what they call this negative anti-football these
It's
days.
pathetic.
Harambol.
It's pathetic. Look, what are we moving on? Are we moving on? What
Well, we
topic
can
are,
move.
are we
Let's
moving
move.
on to Amarim or
Yeah.
Tim?
I think. Look, I think naturally. Let's focus a wee bit on the positive first of all.
Okay, so we're talking about the team.
Let's talk about the team,
Right.
and I think we were talking there about the team performance, and like without a doubt, it was an extremely inexperienced team, especially that finished the game.
Yeah.
But
Well,
the
here's
team work. Go ahead. What do you think?
I thought Aidan Heaven was fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a young player. He's had a few games now. He's played in a row. And I think he's actually really benefiting from playing.
Yeah.
I think he benefited, and we talked about it in the last game. He had Martinez in the team with him this time beside him, and I think that helped him. Just having somebody with a bit more experience rather than him and Euro, like Luke Shaw's beside him. But I thought Aidan Heaven was fantastic. I thought Lemens was brilliant. Martinez it was great to see Martinez back in the team. We're going to talk about the subs. I mean, like just when I go through it and I talk about Martinez, he took Martinez off for 3 minutes. 3 minutes plus 7 left.
Yeah.
What the fuck is he taking Martinez off at that stage? What is he doing? Why is he taking Martinez off? With 3 minutes ago, we're under the cosh, and he puts on Fredrickson.
Yeah.
Fredrickson and Malacia for sure.
Yeah.
So I know. Look, sorry.
Calm yourself down. Calm
right.
yourself down.
We're talking about the players. So yeah,
we're talking here about.
Calvin was brilliant. Mount was brilliant, and he got. Despite I didn't realize people were slagging him off. I thought Mount was fantastic. Shesko did a role. I still have faith in Shesko.
I feel so sorry for him because it's just the Hoyland situation.
Yeah.
You just
That's
look
why
at
we
him
should
and
have kept Hoyland.
you just look at it and you just kind of say, listen, there's no difference between him and Hoyland.
Yeah.
They're both trying, but they're getting nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know,
the thing is, the thing we thought about Hoyland last year was, he's underperforming maybe because the players around him on the wings, especially like Garnacho, are useless. We've got good players at Cunha and Bamo now, and it's made us realise that maybe that's not the problem with them. Maybe the problem is the midfield. I mean, we finished that game with a midfield pairing of Jack Fletcher and Ugarte. I mean, that is very poor. I mean, it's a sort of 11 of players we had out on the pitch, and hopefully in 5 years' time we can look back on this and say we were in the trenches back then. But it was just insane. I mean, again with the subs, insane. But overall, the players are good.
Well, we're talking about players. Let's talk about these two players. Two players that I'm not saying I have back, but I have said they should be given leeway. Dorgu. Now Dorgu's had 2 great games. He got an assist in the last game. He should have got 2 assists because Cunha missed a chance. That was Dorgu's great pass. And he played well. He was fantastic yesterday. His goal was fantastic. Yeah. And he was exit first. He got the ball and he ran. I mean, he was down more times than a boxer. The amount of times he was getting hit in the head, the ball hitting the head.
Yeah.
I thought he was fantastic. And for the second game in a row, I think Ugarte played well. I think Ugarte, at this moment, right now, in this team, in this squad, I think Ugarte needs to be playing because at least he gives us some bite. And I thought he played well yesterday.
No, it wasn't his best performance. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go as far to say it's a 7, but maybe I'll give him a 6 league. He was good, but I
thought he played well.
I think Ugarte is one of those players. Listen, while we were talking before we started recording as well, was just saying like, well, Killian, you've said 10 out of 10%. Team performance in your opinion. Everybody worked hard. They dug deep, especially that second half, especially when he put on so many young players and when the team, everybody was throwing themselves at the ball, trying to block shot. Martinez, I thought, nearly injured himself again. Maybe that's why he came off, I don't know, but because he did throw himself at it, and it was like, I can't remember, it was near the end, and it was right in the box, and he just threw himself out of the ball, and then he was injured. I don't know if that was a bit of dark arts or not, but there was a few of that. There's been talk of that actually. I was actually wanted to talk to you about that. There was talk about Dorgu. Was he kind of a wee bit of that there?
Well, what about Ramsdale? Sure,
exactly.
They rearranged their whole team. He went down.
Yeah,
they had a wee meeting and changed their formation. Talk about dark arts.
Well, this is part of the game.
That shouldn't be part of the game. It shouldn't be allowed.
What?
Tactical injuries. That's not part of the game.
Do you know what? I've got to say that I personally like the move about the goalie because I used to do it as a roller hockey coach. I used to do it all the time, and we get a sub. I would say to the goalie, if I need an extra time out here, tie your pads or whatever like that. So I'm not going to give off to him. I think it's a smart move. I think it's a smart play, an experienced coach move. And again, like, remember Jose said whenever he was coaching Spurs, he was like, you need that Spurs team needed to be more of a cunt. I think that's what he said. You know what I mean? It's a strong word, but that's what he said. He says, don't be nice, find ways to win. So I don't hold that against Newcastle, but yeah, no, I agree. Well, Dorgu's an interesting one because I'm going to kick over to the genius here because he's got an interesting take on Dorgu, and it'll be interesting to see what the feedback is on this. Killian, what is your thoughts, sir, on Patrick?
Well, I mean, we've talked about how long have we talked for here so far? About 15 minutes, maybe. We haven't even talked about the fact that for a lot of the second half, we had Dallo and Dorgu as our two wingers. And now, on paper, that looks absolutely horrendous. But Patrick Dorgu, I thought, not only played good in the first half, but also didn't do too bad in the second half when he was on the wing too. Now, I'm just thinking again, when was the last time you seen a fullback play not too bad at fullback, but then play much better and play brilliantly on the wing? The one player who comes to mind for me is a man by the name of Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale begun his football career at Southampton as a left back. He even signed for Spurs as a left back, but at Spurs under Harry Redknapp, I do believe, he transitioned into a right winger from left back, and he looked incredible. He even scored a hat trick at Inter Milan in the Champions League too. And so one thing led to another. Eventually, as a right winger, Gareth Bale became, at the time, the most expensive footballer on the planet, I do believe, as well, and became what I would consider a legend at Real Madrid too. Scored some amazing goals in Champions League finals, etc. Could we have a Gareth Bale in our hands? Could we have the Danish Gareth Bale in our hands? Because it sounds maybe nuts to some people, but I mean, I don't think it is. I mean, he probably won't reach the level of Gareth Bale. I mean, I'd love him to reach the level of Gareth Bale, but I do believe he still can thrive much better as a winger. I mean, if you've watched him for Denmark too, he's regularly in the score sheet for his national team. He's got his first goal for United here against Newcastle too. He has proven he has an attacking threat. If we are short in players because of AFCON, Bruno's injured, with too many youth players maybe too, why not just put Dorgu in the wing? Next match against Wolves, especially if we're 1 or 2-0 up and we've got nothing much to risk in the game. See how he gets on, because I do genuinely believe that could be a decent position for him come further on down the line.
What I would say about that is it's an interesting take. I've been a fan of Dorgu, not so much in his performances and giving him time. He's a young player. And I think I've probably been more of a backer of him than probably you have in the past, right? So he's had a couple of games. I know you're envisioning Gareth Bale Mark II. I wouldn't. I remember watching Gareth Bale as a young player. I remember watching him against Inter Milan. He was unbelievable. No, I like Dorgu. I think he has potential, but he is not at this stage. He is nothing like Gareth Bale. Well, I don't mean I mean he's attacking. I know what you're saying. He showed improvement. Like, he reminded me of Bale a wee bit in the fact that he was able to kick the ball ahead of him. No, I'm not backtracking. He put his head down and he had a bit of pace about him. Okay, but that's where it ends. But he's got in my opinion, he's got no future as a winger. He's not a winger for United. But I think he's got potential to be a United player.
Well, if you went back to when Bale was playing for Southampton and he went up to any Southampton fan and said, could you see Gareth Bale as a winger? And I said back then, as a young player, the majority of them would have said no. So you never know.
Is he not now? He's not at his Southampton stage. Surely he's at his Spurs stage now. With us.
But maybe that was the game for the transition.
Maybe.
I think what we have here is a classic youth, enthusiasm. A bit like Heaven last night after the game, talking about maybe doing a title charge at the end of the season. Did you see that?
I didn't see it.
He was being interviewed and he was getting his man of the match, and it was quite a weird interview actually, because it was Dorgu and really,
I did see the sort of it.
It really showed their age, because they're just like, they were kind of giddy. They were just kind of like, just looked like two wee boys talking and all. And anyway, and he had a great game. He was buzzing, blah blah blah. And then he talked, and then he said something about like, you never know, we might even have a title charge by the end of the season. So maybe
Second
Killian.
half of the season,
We're doing a title shot. Yeah. Shout out to the United Stand guy. But well, look. Hopefully, Killian. Hopefully that we can clip that in a couple of years' time and say you were right.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
You know,
I look like an absolute genius, or I look like the biggest idiot on the planet.
Or maybe somewhere in between. Maybe you'll just be a
No.
decent player.
And something you said earlier
never
there.
know.
Something you said earlier there about your. Hopefully, in 5 years' time, we'll look back and you were talking about the midfield. And
No, we're talking about
I'm hoping by the end of January we'll be looking back and saying, "Fuck, we were at the doldrums then."
Yeah, like
5
I
years time.
still recall over the past few years, like seeing a screenshot from, I think it was 1920 under Solskjaer. We're playing like Sheffield United and we had, Fred, Pereira, McTominay in midfield. We had, I think, Martial striker, Phil Jones the back line too.
Somebody mentioned Marshall.
There was people saying back then, gosh, we were in the trenches. I tell you what, that looks like a super team compared to what we had out in the pitch last night almost.
Let's talk about subs.
Okay,
We keep on falling into it.
I think it's important to recognise young players played well. 3 points.
100%.
So
yeah.
what we're kind of agreeing. 3 points, massive. Now, okay.
Here's the statement: the team won us the 3 points.
Yeah,
not the manager.
Well, the manager's part of the team.
The team won us 3 points.
Well, that's always a fucking same. The team is always going to win your losing.
No.
But you can't.
I have backed Ruben all the way. We were losing games, and it's like, no, we have to keep them. We have to keep them. The closest I've been to going, I am sick of this guy, was as we were winning yesterday. Mm-hmm. He pissed me off.
Like, I mean, everything in terms of team selection and tactics, he got wrong. I mean, for whole Kobbie Mainoo thing, that's a whole different story. But I mean, as a load of people seem to think, he's not injured and he's agreed to leave and he's been left out of the team. Mainoo is still a good player who could have played a part there in that match last night. So if he wasn't injured, then that's massive. It's massive sort of egocentric view from Amram there that he's not playing Kobbie Mainoo just because he doesn't like him almost. And then, tactically, the start of the game anyway was good. The team selection wasn't bad either. But after Dorgu's goal, that's when it all fell to bits. If Mason Mount did have a bit of a knock and I didn't want to risk him, that's completely fine. I would rather Mason Mount be fit for the rest of the season and play a good second half, get injured during the second half and be out for 2 or 3 months, honestly. But apart from that, with each sub, it started looking more and more brain dead. Bringing off the likes of Luke Shaw, Asano Martinez, Casemiro too, coming off, I thought was a pretty poor move too. I know you're praising Ugarte. You say
but here's the thing. No. But Ugarte was brilliant. But Ugarte was extremely good. Here's my issue. I couldn't believe when he. I couldn't believe it almost as much as Casemiro couldn't believe that he was being subbed. This is a team that had just lost at half-time Mason Mount. So we're playing Jack Fletcher, who's only a wee kid, making a second appearance for United. 15 minutes into the second half, he's taking Casemiro off and putting on Euro. What the hell? What is going on?
But and then, of course, we ended up with Dallo and Dorgu as our 2 wingers. Xerxes came on, didn't really do anything. Yeah. I think we ended up the match with like a 6-back, at least 5 centre-backs in the pitch too. It's just all over the place. Like.
He took Shesko off and put on Xerxes.
And then,
I don't understand that either. I mean, Shesko had literally had a good chance and hit the bar, and he was immediately taken off.
Yeah. And then one last thing too. What on earth is he doing bringing Tyrell Malacia on?
I know, Malacia.
I mean, this fella is a man who hasn't played since 2 days after my 17th birthday, and we're less than a month away from my 18th birthday now. So that just proves you. And I mean, I know he has been out on loan with PSV, but he wasn't even good at PSV. That PSV had an obligation to buy. I do believe in the summer managed to finesse their way out of that. And I mean, if I'm not mistaken as well, Malacia was on that list with the likes of Rashford, Garnacho, Anthony, and Sancho of players who had the bomb squad of players who had to leave the club. No if buts or maybes, they had to leave the club. No one came in for Malacia because no one wanted Malacia, and now he's all of a sudden starting to get games again against Newcastle, even if it's for a few minutes. It's still coming on.
It's not his fault.
Exactly,
He's got himself back fit.
Yeah,
I liked him 10 years ago when he was playing. Like I said in our WhatsApp group, it's like, what the fuck's Malacia coming? He hasn't played since the millennium.
I didn't even know he was still in the fucking club.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost like, oh, who's that guy?
I didn't know.
Jesus, Malacia, he's alive.
I didn't even recognize him with his haircut. I was like, who's that? I thought it was a young fella. Like, and it said Malacia. I was like, what the fuck?
I know. Malacia and Fredrickson coming on.
So I'm looking at the
13 minutes.
60th minute, sub 60th minute,
Casemiro.
Xerxes and Chesko, first of all. 61st minute, Euro came on for Casemiro. Casemiro, who was kind of kept going like, me? You know, he was like, everybody, I couldn't believe it either. I was like, what is he doing? I'm just looking, when did he make the Oz sub? So it was then in the 60. Oh, no, that's their team. Moving on up. When the next sub he made.
Sorry,
was-
I just cut in there while you're still looking there. Another thing I don't get necessarily is, okay, Mason Mount was a big part of the first half, big orchestrator as well. He comes off. Obviously, we're going to lose maybe a bit of creativity, a bit of direction there in the midfield, especially. But that is no excuse whatsoever to park the bus. I'm sorry. I mean, if Mason Mount got sent off, then we have every right to park the bus.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, if we're still 11 men, Newcastle, yes, maybe have had their moments, of domination and possession, and they've had a couple of chances here and there. But still, Newcastle were a poor team. I know their midfield wasn't too bad, but apart from their midfield, I didn't think they were a great side whatsoever. So for me, I would only have parked the bus if Newcastle were just looking incredibly good, incredibly in control, looking like they were going to tear us apart easily if we didn't park the bus. But that was not the case whatsoever. And especially at Old Trafford, who for me was sort of an embarrassing move. They spent 45 minutes just defending against Newcastle there last night. Really, really was embarrassing, especially at Old Trafford there.
So, yeah, and at the 80th minute, then he made then the second substitute where he changed Martinez with Fredrickson and then Shaw with Malacia.
What minute was that? 87?
88th minute.
Oh, 88.
And again, every single United fan was like, what's going on here? Like, what's he doing? What is he doing?
But here's the thing. It's not fair. It's not fair in Fredrickson. It's not fair on Malacia, right? It's not fair on Aiden Heaven, who's had a great game, right?
Yeah.
Because you're changing the
aye.
partnerships
Yeah.
at the most crucial. It's not as if we're dominating the game. I wouldn't be acceptable if we were dominating the game. We are under the cosh. We are under the cosh. He takes Luke Shaw and Martinez off at the same moment.
If he had done that in the 70th minute or something, right, I could have assumed that they were injured or he was trying to protect them. They weren't fit to play 90 minutes. But in the 80th minute, I was like, what is he doing?
I call it sabotage.
Do you know what I mean? Sabotage.
Hey, I called it at the time. It's like he is trying to fucking... he doesn't want us to win. He is our manager, and those subs don't make sense.
He's just got an addiction of, making as many subs for his backline as possible.
He always does. He always likes to change to defenders. I
Yeah.
don't know why. I honestly don't know
He needs,
why.
to go,
Bad
he,
habit.
he needs to go to therapy or something because he has to stop doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
Madness.
I think if Newcastle, they easily could have scored. If we had drawn that game, I mean, this conversation today is, I wouldn't even want to talk about it today, because again, I just don't understand it. I think you're, the I was listening to what he said about the Casemiro sub, and he said that he saw Newcastle were starting to go down the wings, and he didn't think he basically said he didn't think Casemiro was going to be fit enough to cope with doing all the running, so he put on to get younger legs on.
But he put on Euro for Casemiro. Yeah. So how did we change formation wise at that stage?
I remember Euro went to right back.
Nobody knew what was going on. Sure, Neville was saying I think they're playing a six at the back now. We fucking were.
Yeah.
What? It doesn't make any sense. Listen, I think we could. The thing that is crazy about this is we could talk about this for next hour and we won't know anything. We won't have anything more to say about it because it doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's like I said, we have a United group, and I put into it after we had won. It's like I want Amarim to be forensically questioned on his subs and why he made them. And as somebody replied, good luck with that, because Amarim just talks in riddles half the time. Sometimes he speaks well, but a lot of the time it's so it doesn't make any sense.
There's two schools of thought. There's three, I suppose. One would be that he thought that he trusts those players, he was putting them on, and there was good reasons for it, and he thought they would see him out the game. That is logically one of them. The second one is, like you said, sabotage, or the third one is he's saying to the board, buy me players in January. Now, I don't know if that's, I mean, that's the only thing I was thinking about. Is that what he's saying here? Is that what he's doing? Because, like, it's just that's a
But
risky game to do. Like,
remind me again, second half possession, 24%, 26, 24.
24, I think it was. Yeah.
That has to be one of the worst second half possession stats we've ever had at Old Trafford.
24%, yeah.
It has to be. It has to be one of the worst. I'm not saying it's the worst, but it can't be far off.
Newcastle had 13 shots. We had 3. Can't believe we had 3.
Wild.
Crazy.
Just worry. Look, our next game, we're at home again. We're playing Wolves. You need to win.
Yeah.
You need to win. You've been looking at the upcoming.
Yes,
So
I think we can talk all we want about how lucky we were, but at the end of the day, we got 3 points against Newcastle. We beat a Newcastle team. Newcastle, regardless of how good or bad Newcastle are, they're not an easy team to beat whatsoever. So the fact we managed to win that one is massive. And now I've actually been looking at the fixtures for the next 4 or 5 matches going into the new year as well, and there is genuinely a massive, massive, brilliant chance too that it could be about time to get the scissors out and cut your man's hair, because our next 4 games, they're not only games where you look at and you're like, oh, we could definitely win quite a lot of those. We definitely could get a couple of favorable results. No, we definitely should be winning at least 3 of those next 4 games. If not, I do believe, even though yes, our squad stretched and all, we should definitely be good enough to win our next 4 matches. So our next game to finish off 2025, we're at home to Wolves. Need I say more really? That has to be 3 points. I think we learned that a couple of weeks ago. Then to start off the new year, we probably got our hardest of this next run of 4 fixtures, and it's a bit of a rivalry. Leeds away, Allen Road, never easy. However, I do still believe we can win there. Leeds are starting to improve, but I do believe still we're good enough to win at Allen Road. Then we're away to Burnley. Again, Turf Moor can be a bit of a, crappy ground to go to, but still we should definitely be good enough to win there. And then we got the FA Cup at home to Brighton. Listen, we beat Brighton 4-2 earlier on in the season at home. There's no reason as to why we can't beat them again at home in the FA Cup. So I think it's massive that we take the next 4 matches. I mean, the first things first, I think it's massive we don't lose any of those matches. If we can extend this to a 5-game unbeaten run at the very least, that's massive, especially, after this run, we're playing the Derby against City, and then right after we're away to Arsenal too. So, after this next 4 matches, the big guns start to reappear. So that's why it's crucial we don't lose any of these matches, get into the best momentum possible, and so then we can hit these next big matches, full guns a-blazing, and hopefully back to full strength as well.
Is the guy with the long hair, is just any 5 games in a row, or did he say 5 Premier League games?
Any 5 games in a
Any
row.
5 games in a row?
It doesn't count pre-season, but
Okay.
any competitive match.
Okay. I was actually thinking over Christmas there, I was like, the way this is going, I was thinking maybe I should start growing my beard and see how long that would take.
I think it's hard to know. They're not this team in games that you think we might win, or the ones that we don't win. I think away at Allen Road's
tough game.
That's tough. Like I mean, it's never not tough. I don't know if we can win that game, but
well, I suppose that's the 4th of January. But I mean, like, if we do anything in January, it's not going to be it'll be the last day, like, and then it'll probably be like, and then the guy will probably be injured. He'll come and take him a couple of weeks before he plays. Like, but no, I'd agree with that. But listen, it's an interesting point. I think it's needed. I think he really does need to do it again, right? So up next, we have Wolves away at home, Old Trafford, isn't it? Yeah.
2-1
predictions. I mean, Wolves. Obviously, it wasn't that long ago we played them, and they were shite.
One of the worst teams.
Although since then they have had close run-ins with Arsenal and just today Liverpool as well, so they could be a bit better. But come on, they're still rock bottom, still losing every game. Has to be a win.
Yeah. Well, prediction time.
Well, you want me to start then?
Kick us off, genius.
I don't think it's going to be anything spectacular. It's definitely not going to be as spectacular as the 4-1 result of the Molyneux was. It's probably going to be a bit more of a boring match. I think Wolves will be a bit more solid defensively. But I still think, we've still got Cunha in the squad. All being well, Mount should still be there too. Hopefully maybe Shashko or even a Xerxes, if he comes off the bench, can step it up to maybe Patrick Dorgu scores again. So I think we're going to get a 2-0 victory here. It's not going to be anything too spectacular. It's still a good result, of course, but it's not going to be too entertaining. It's not going to be, fantastic football. We're not going to tear Wolves apart, but we're going to be patient. We're going to be the better team. We're going to get 2 goals, keep another clean sheet, and get another big 3 points.
Yeah, that's more or less exactly what I was thinking. 2-0. I think we'll get a second clean sheet in a row, which will be great. And I think we will just do enough. As you say, I think Wolves will be better than they were at Molyneux. I think we should have enough, but despite, as long as the arm just start fucking about, who knows? Who knows? Who knows who's going to be playing? but I do think we can win. I think we'll win 2-0. I could even see us scoring 2 goals in the first half and then just playing out the second half. That's my
Then parking the bus.
Parking the bus, yeah, second half.
Okay,
Park the bus.
You said 2-0?
2-0.
Killian, what did you say?
2-0.
2-0. I'll change it up. I'm going to say 3-1. I think.
Hasn't been great with clean sheets, so we'll have clean sheet boxing then out there.
Yeah, listen, I think as long as we get, we just have to see definitely more control of the game. But more ball possession would be helpful, and
surely we're going to have a bit more ball possession. Jeez, you couldn't get less.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it makes it interesting when you don't know what he's going to do. Like, listen, we did say a couple of months ago that he's too predictable. Well, you can't fucking say that now. Nobody's saying that now.
Definitely makes it hard for the opposition to try to predict the lineup.
It's making it hard for the players to know what's going on. Never mind the opposition.
But I think one of the big takes probably in the last couple of weeks is Aidan Heaven's just starting to cement his place there. I think that's a big. I think Aidan Heaven and I think Dorgu. I think there are 2 positives.
You mean Bale?
And I mentioned it too a couple months ago. I think I was sort of saying, I don't know if I said it on here or said it on my own channel. I can't remember, but I do remember saying anyway that I wanted to see Aidan Heaven get more game time, because I thought back end of last season the game time he did get, I was very impressed by him. I thought he looked like a brilliant young prospect. And for sort of the first number of months of the season, first 10 odd matches, 12 odd matches, whatever it was, he wasn't really getting much of a look in. And I wasn't happy about that, because I thought he was good enough to get at least even a few minutes every game, nearly enough, at least at the start of the season anyway. So I'm happy to see Heaven get a run of games, obviously, in the light of, injuries from Deletton, Maguire, etc. I think that definitely is a silver lining which comes from those negatives there. But yeah, very impressive. Heaven, he continues to improve game in, game out, and hopefully he continues on that trajectory.
One of the things I don't think we have touched upon, and I know we had discussed it ourselves previously, this was the first game without Bruno. And I'll be honest, I didn't miss him. He was in the stand. I'm happy enough he was there. I don't want to be ungrateful. I just feel Bruno, I think he runs about too much like a headless chicken. He's all over the place, and maybe he's not where he should be. And I think we look more like a team potentially without our captain. So
I just hope that Amarin isn't using him as an excuse to park the bus. Like he can't adopt that against Wolves. He just can't.
No,
he just can't. Like,
if you're at that game yesterday, like,
yes.
you're coming out of that stadium, just the way we felt with turning off the TV. You're like,
I know, and there's many people giving up their Boxing Day for that too.
It's just
people saving all year to go to that. But no, well, listen, I do want to say Le Mans made a great, really helped out his team. His young defense with a catch.
Great catch. He ran really good.
Yeah.
He took it
I
very
was just
well.
like, I tell you what, if we had Andre the Clown in nets, we would have lost that game.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Because Newcastle still had good chances. Like, I do remember Gordon had a very good chance and Zagnop just went wide of the post.
Yeah.
But Le Mans in particular was very commanding. Like, it was an injury time. He came out for that ball. It was a big risk. Took a big risk. Could have easily dropped it.
Killed Euro.
It could have killed the Euro.
That's what you have to do. Like,
but
it was great.
it paid off.
Brilliant.
And ultimately that saved us big time there in injury time. So Le Mans confident, commanding too. Basically everything with Shinana wasn't Le Mans is proving to be. And yes, he's only kept 2 clean sheets. Maybe people who don't watch United might think he's been very poor so far, but it's actually been the opposite. Yes, he still is struggling with clean sheets, but apart from that, everything about his game is superb. And yeah, definitely massive upgrade in Andre Onana. So happy to finally have a goalkeeper who knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So finishing up, Tuesday night, isn't it, the game?
Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday, what time is that?
I think it's an 8 o'clock. It's
Probably 8
a
o'clock,
late
yeah.
enough one, I think.
That will be the last game of 2025. Are we going live
Yeah, we could
after
do it.
that? Will we do a live that
We could
and
do, yeah.
finish off 2025? Yeah. Okay, let's do it like that. Then we'll not sign off for 2025 yet, but
It is Wolves. We have to go live. This is a chance we might actually win.
right. Okay, so we're definitely going live after Wolves. We have we had a win yet on after a live show?
I think we went live after the last Wolves game, so
Yeah, but it didn't feel like a win. It was just like
Just like this one.
yeah.
it didn't feel like we only
Yeah.
went 4-1. Like,
I
so.
know.
I know, right enough. All right, well, maybe we're getting a bit hard to please,
Yeah.
But listen, United won. We got 3 points. We're joint fifth, and somehow we're there. And yeah,
Do you know
listen,
something? You would have taken our position at the start of the season.
yeah,
If
And-
you
Yeah,
said we
it's a good
were
position.
going to be on the same amount of points as Chelsea and only be 3 points behind the Scousers, you would have taken that.
How are they fourth after the season they've had? They're picking up form, yes, but
Yeah.
it's
cheating
frustrating.
bastards. One last question just before we go. What contract's Amarin on? How long's he got?
He's only got one more season.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure. I think it was. See,
was
he came in mid-season.
Yeah.
Why did I get the feeling it was only like 2.5
I-
years?
yeah.
You have a look there.
Yeah, I thought it was 2.5.
Because if
How
that's
about
correct,
that's-
then they would need to be offering him a new contract before the season's
Yeah,
out.
but what would that maybe tell you about, what the club thought of Amram before appointing him?
Unsure.
They were unsure about him.
cheap
you
and
know-
keen to learn. It runs until June 2027 with an option
So
to
there you go.
extend.
That's
Yeah.
only an extra
Oh, there's
season.
an option to extend for a year.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
Like
yeah.
to do with the players.
Yeah,
Fingers
yeah.
crossed that option is not triggered at the end of the season, because I don't see us going anywhere further.
Well, listen,
What?
if
Jeez, where's this come? What?
we're backing him for the rest of the season,
Hold on. Are you
I would
on
give him-
right?
Well, I mean, we've only spent the past 40 odd minutes giving out about him, so
There's only one game, but I'm
but
just
you could
not happy.
you could fucking turn it around.
he could turn it
You know,
around.
this
And
said
I
it was
mean-
close on remote. I didn't
This
say
could
it was
this
on
could
remote.
this could be Fergie's moment. You know what I mean?
And
Yeah,
as I said after the Villa match last week, or early on in the week, whatever it was, I didn't think Amram was the man to bring United forward, but I was happy to give him to the rest of the season, because I didn't see much point in a sacking Amram mid-season. It's too late now to sack a manager. Give him to the end of the season. See where we are. Of course, if he's done an absolute insanity and he's got his top four and we're playing brilliant football and we're making progress, then extend that contract all you will. But
Well, we don't have to
at
worry.
the minute,
We don't have to worry about his contract just now.
Killian with the bombshell just as the show's ending. I hope it's not triggered.
Right, listen, let's finish there. We got the 3 points. We go again, as they say. We'll be live on Tuesday after the Wolves game. If you're watching this here, get online, get involved in the group chat, and have a bit of crack here to finish off 2025. Hopefully with another 3 points. And we'll see you then. Right, guys. Thanks very much.
cheers.
Come on, United.
Go on, United.
Up the Reds.